Daytona International Speedway. The Rolex 24 Hours. The toughest endurance event for man and machine in the world. Machine, man, passion.
Daytona is one of those places that just has such a special place in people's hearts in terms of racing. You hear it with Indy and Le Mans, and whenever anyone brings up those venues, there's just that special, heart rate increase that you're just like, wow, I got to go do there. It's so special. The history is so intense that, especially when you come through the tunnel and you look around, it's like, man, this is, here you are, where many heroes have had many past glories, and you just want to get a part of that history.
It's a emotional, physical, sleep deprivation, party. It really does feel like a party in that you're hungover for the whole time. You've got, you've got a headache because the noise, it's so loud. You're breathing in bad air constantly.
For me, it's the perfect blend of man and machine against the clock. The clock is 24 hours, and it's never give up. I mean, it's 2 or 3 in the morning. You just realized you just passed the halfway point, and you're going, holy crap! Are you kidding me? We're only halfway.
Teams of passionate people working together to keep a 200-mile-an-hour race car running twice around the clock.
There's nothing better in life than 15, 20 people headed in the same direction passionately. And they're looking at each little bit and piece and structure and procedure and whatnot and fine-tuning it as a group, as a team, and moving forward.
The drivers are athletes, highly trained for the task at hand.
Nowadays, with the cars making as much grip as they do and the lateral G's that they're, longitudinal lateral G's on the braking and accelerating and cornering that they're able to pull, you do have to be fit. Your neck's got to be tough. You've got to be, core strength has to be really strong. And on top of that, cardio has to be, way up there. And you have to be able to do really long stints and drive fast and hard and not fall off at the end, no mistakes. And that's what people expect of you. And, when you're given a job to do, and you want no mistakes, you got to train hard for it.
The thing for me, and I think a lot of the other drivers, is we're physically prepared. We train twice a day, and so we're fit and strong enough to handle the car. I think the thing is when you take away from the physical thing. So if you're not physically there the whole time, then it takes away from your mental, because you're spending more mental time thinking about what you should be doing physically, if that makes any sense.
Performance drink, a high-tech solution to a very athletic problem.
I bring my own doctor along to the race that gives me an IV. What helps that is the hydration that the performance drink gives you. I take a drink a half an hour before I get into the car, so like a regular water bottle full of stuff, and then you have a bottle that has a diluted mixture in it, so it's not hard to drink while you are in the car.
I'm not the first one on the block to try these things. I'm fairly sensitive about what I eat and drink during a race. I have to be careful about what I eat and drink, so I got enough reports about the performance drink before I tried it. And I tried it over a year ago, and what I found was, first of all, it didn't affect my stomach in any way, shape, or form. So that's, for me, that's very important. It didn't make me feel acidic or anything. The other thing was, I was very aware that I was working less hard in the car. When I got out of the car, I felt like I could certainly run a double stint if it was a single, and when I did a double stint, I felt like if I just got out after a single. So it was really the fact that I just felt much fitter. I felt much better.
There's 2 things that happen when the body starts to break down from exercise or an intense load. One is a dehydration effect, and the other is the effect of a starvation mechanism. The body requires sugars to perform energy. It requires oxygen and it requires water. And if the body's lacking either one of those, then it searches for draws in from other areas within the body, other storage capacities. When the body starts to do that, that's when the body starts to break down. And it's the metabolic process within the body that really causes that breakdown. So when you start to feel that burn in the muscle, when you start to break down, when you start to lose the mental acuity that you're accustomed to having when you're fresh, What's happening is the body is producing, or the byproduct of normal metabolism and exercise, are products such as lactic acid, the carbon dioxide that the body releases when there's not enough oxygen, foodstuffs, and water available to it.
With performance drink, it helps keep your blood sugar levels constant through a race. One of the big things with dehydration is your sugar levels go down, which makes the worst thing about it, makes your eyesight go when you're in a race car over the bumps. It would make your eyesight not react as fast and things become a little bit more sluggish. Well, this keeps your sugar levels on a constant, and it'll actually peak up as you continue, which it's almost like a boost as you go.
Well, typically what happens is you usually have a buildup of lactic acid in the muscle, and it's an acid, and so it's really not allowing the muscle to fully produce at its highest level. So over a period of time, it tends to fatigue and it tends to not be able to perform as what you would being fresh out of the gates.
I can focus on driving the race car and never think about my mind or my physical being or how I'm feeling in the car or if I'm making mental lapses in the car. It's that I go drive the car and it's as if I'm doing a 5-minute go-kart race.
Performance drink for me, first and foremost, keeps me focused. You know, it gets rid of all the other variables, muscle fatigue, brain fade, loss of concentration. It gets rid of that for long, extended periods of time, which is invaluable to my profession.
Performance drink, I mean, it really, if you start to have, if you don't drink the drink and you try to do a double stint, your mental focus definitely diminishes. You find yourself making mistakes. You find yourself, your vision's going down a bit. Just your reactions, everything, just all of a sudden you're thinking about it out there instead of just driving.
Basically what happens is as your body is working and exerting, especially driving a race car, you're burning sugar, you're burning energy. That's what your body runs on. And so what tends to happen is as you are exerting, you burn more and more sugar and your sugar stores get low, you get low blood sugar and you kind of crash. You get the achy feeling, you start to lose focus, you get really tired, and that's essentially what's going on.
Since I've been using performance drink, I just find that not only am I mentally sharper and I feel just more in tune to the entire stint, the physical fatigue isn't there as well. So both mentally and physically, the fatigue is just not as apparent and not as severe since I've been using performance drink.
Performance drink is a simple food, highly scientific, and prepared for each individual athlete.
You're not looking at something like a steroid where you're putting in hormones that are not supposed to be in your body in those amounts. This is just changing the way your body metabolizes its own sugar. It's essentially a supplement, just in the same way that multivitamins aren't banned because they're good things to have in your body, all those nutrients we don't always get in our food. This is something that just helps your body work a little more efficiently, but you're not putting anything in it that really shouldn't be there.
Performance drink will never be tested, has been tested, and is proven to be not a banned substance because it is food, and until they eliminate fruits, vegetables, and grains, I guess we're safe.
Universities such as the University of Buffalo rigorously test performance drink. Some call it a breakthrough.
It is a breakthrough. Other kinds of performance drink as a general category spike your blood sugar. They put in nutrients, which you need. They put in electrolytes, which you lose when you sweat and when you are exerting. But they would also give you a spike of sugar. They would give you sugar, which helps you run on that. But what this does, as I said, it lets your body metabolize its own stores and its own sugar in a more even way. And that is a breakthrough. That's the first time that's been done. And that's healthier for your body because you don't get the rise and the fall that then comes after the rise in blood sugar.
We're doing wireless testing now, which has never been done before either, so we can have an idea where the driver is, because in this particular endurance racing, we have more than one driver, and therefore the respiratory rate of exhaustion is very important, where you utilize the heart rate, the core temperature, skin temperature, and now we can calculate how the person is actually dealing with what in the car. And the benefits are, before they start to fade, we can get them out of the car. 2 years ago, we started with 11 drivers in Grand American Road Racing, and we still have those 11 drivers, except now we have another maxed out at about 80 the second year, which was very impressive to everyone. now it's over the top with the 150 mark.
I would love to see this drink get into, the NFL. Football is a very anaerobic sport, which there's a lot of quick bursts and a lot of power movements that go on, and in that you become by what I mean by anaerobic is your body doesn't utilize oxygen to create those short bursts, and so what you do is you burn all the sugar out of the muscle. This keeps those blood sugars level. So the fatigue that those short bursts and quick movement patterns would create in a football type of a movement, this is a perfect product.
You know, personally, why I use the drink is that I find it helps me stay alert and be my best for long periods of time. And you know, when you're here for 24 hours and you're going to do 6 or 8 hours in a car, that's a hard thing to do. And just doing it with regular nutrition, I don't care how fit you are, or you know, how much you run on adrenaline. After several stints in the car in the middle of the night or the next morning, you need whatever advantage you can get. And to me, I wouldn't get in the car without the product today. And 3 years ago, I didn't even know it existed. And today, I won't get in the car without the product.
Last year, I came in very, very physically fit, you know, in great shape, and didn't know about performance drink. You know, I wasn't using it. And partway into the season, I became acclimated to it. And you are definitely at a loss without using it. If you don't use it, you have a disadvantage. This year I come in a little different in my training, not worrying so much about it, and I rely a lot more heavily on the performance drink before I actually get in the car.
When you run low on blood sugar, glucose, the first thing that goes is your vision. Your vision is affected by low blood sugar levels. And along with that, right after that is basically your mental acuity, the ability to make good decisions and to really think about things and think hard about it. And if you think about that, there are a lot of things that you don't want to lose your vision, and you want to stay smart in. I mean, you could think of any number of professions. How would you like the surgeon to have not eaten correctly when he's operating on you over the course of a 3-hour heart operation? I mean, you want this guy to be sharp.
Performance Drink, a high-tech solution to a very athletic problem.
I have a great feeling of satisfaction that individuals of the caliber that I have the opportunity to work with appreciate and understand the benefits of performance drink even better than I do, because they get to use it firsthand. And they appreciate what I'm doing, but I really appreciate more that they've allowed me to help them be the best they can be.